Walker Heckman here with Rocky Mountain Hunting Adventures, and this video you're about to watch is something I'm trying new this year. Instead of just making separate clips for each individual hunt we do, because sometimes we can do 3 or 4 different hunts a day, we actually are going to, or I'm going to put a big scheme, shortened version of all the hunts into one weekend hunt. It's going to be called, so this one's going to be called opening weekend, of course. And yeah, and if we get like a big bull down or something this fall, then there will be an individual for it also, but part of it will be a part of the weekend hunt too. So I hope you guys like that setup. I'm just going to try it out these next few weeks and see how I like it. This video is basically broken into 2 different hunts, even though one lasted all day. On Saturday morning, it was opening morning, got up kind of early. It was about first light and I got up, left at light. And I was with TARREN Lee, that's my dog by the way. TARREN Lee, I'm from Mid-Montana Outdoors. And he was videoing for me basically all weekend. I did some clips by myself, but he was videoing for me. And Saturday morning, we videoed a big 2-point, wide, big 2-point mule deer buck that we put a perfect stock on. I got it into 20 yards on him. You're going to see it right after this. But there's this big rock. We're up on this hill on the side of this draw, covered with like a cliff on the bottom. He was on the bottom of the cliff bedded with another smaller 2-point doe. All 3 of them were bedded. We get up there. I get to 20 yards, TARREN stays back at about 30, videoing. First all I could see was his antlers. I was like, alright, that's him, because the other one was in velvet. And, I mean, he wasn't a big buck at all, but he would have been a nice buck to kill with a bow. He had some character. Get 20 yards, I'm looking at him, looking at his face. He isn't looking at me. He's kind of looking up kind of by me, but his eyes haven't met my eyes yet, so I felt that was good. I was sitting there just hoping to God, because in all videos and all scenarios I've seen with my own eye, deer that are bedded stand up and stop and look at you for you have a couple seconds to shoot, but they just stop. You'll see in this video when I draw on this deer, he doesn't even just stand up, he just blows up out of there and trots off over to his doe and his other buck. I shoot at him. I guessed it at 40 when he slowed the trot down, was almost fast walking. The left and right was perfect, would have nailed the vitals, but he was actually at about 30 yards and shot right over the top of his back. Lost my arrow, but that's how bow hunting goes. Just gotta keep going. And I'm kind of glad I didn't get that buck, because give him another couple years, he'd be even bigger. And it's opening weekend. I got quite a bit more time to get something better down. So yeah, here that clip is.
Alright, we just spotted a couple bucks right down here in this draw. One's a really wide 2-point, we're going to go after him. Alright, the buck is down in the bottom of that draw down there. Hopefully we can get some better wind with us and get on the other side and come down on him.
hope you guys enjoyed that clip. I tried to slow it down afterwards so you could see my arrow. I only got it down to 20x or 20 frames because slow it down any farther than that with the camera I use specifically for like all hunting, not my GoPro or something. It gets really finicky after that, so hopefully you can see the arrow in there. And yeah, next up it's going to be Saturday night. Well, technically Sunday morning, but it was Saturday night very late. We drove up by my guest ranch in the Rocky Mountains, and here it is. We are gonna go look for some elk. Hopefully they're in the pre-rut by now. They should have their velvet shed. Should be looking for some cows. Hopefully they're interacting with some calls. Maybe we can get a shot on a nice bull tomorrow. And if not, hopefully we see a nice mule deer we can try to get a spot and stock on, or cut them off, or whatever we got to do. I'm with Mid-Montana Outdoors. He's reading the How to Stay Alive in the Woods book right now. It's honestly like 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm used to early mornings, late nights, so gotta do what you gotta do. Previous videos, mainly the antelope hunt, I was calling him at Mid-Montana Taxidermy. That's like a second company he has. Sorry. His YouTube channel is Mid-Montana Outdoors though. That's TARREN Lee. And yeah, you guys need to stay tuned. Hope I can get some action for you in the morning. See you at coffee time. Alright, it's morning, second day of archery season, and we're gonna go get some. See you up on the mountain. We're up here at our first big stop. Up here on the mountain, chasing elk and mule deer. Pulling the trail camera. Not allowed to have them up in hunting season, so we gotta pull it. And yeah, let's hope we get something down. See you soon.
Notice this little oak shed. About 25 yards away when we were talking. I picked him up. Not a bad bull. See if we can get a bull down, find the match.
Found a couple rubs. Heading up to the top of Elk Mountain. Hopefully it'll be a good day. course, the whole day we were up at the ranch. It was a fairly good day. We didn't get any video of them. I couldn't get the camera up, but we did see 7 or 8 elk. We saw a very nice 5x5. I don't remember what guys put the video out, but it's called the Big 5x5 or something like that. It's a hunt. They ended up getting it with a rifle, but they bow hunted it too. It took them 2 years to get this bull down, but it had really long whale tails. That's exactly how this bull is. The elk weren't rutting necessarily. It seemed like they're kind of in a pre-rut. It was really perfect weather. It was low hanging fog, raining all day, cold. My hands were cold every time we'd stop. And I felt it was a good day. Maybe we'll get them bugling. They were pre-rutting because that bull had 6 or 7 cows, couldn't quite see. Only saw them for like 5 seconds. But, you know, going up next weekend to the same spot. Hopefully they're rutting, give them 1 more week. Hopefully some of this cold weather still stays here. It should be good. But at the end of the day, we get back to the 4-wheeler because I did a loop. Parked the 4-wheeler about 2 miles down this road. Drove Tarren's truck back to our ranch. Headed out from there. Did a big loop. Came down at the 4-wheeler on the road. And we're about 100 yards from the 4-wheeler. As soon as I see it, it pops in my mind. I forgot the 4-wheeler key in Tarren's truck. It's not the smartest thing I've ever done in my life for sure, but we all make mistakes. I felt terrible about it. So both of us ended up, we kind of took different paths. I took our trail we take our horses on to go get to his truck, and he took the road. Got there at the same time. He left about 5 minutes before me, so it's probably pretty equal because I was running some of the time. I pretty much puked at one point. And yeah, it turned out being a 9-mile day, but it ain't 9 miles walking down a flat road or nothing like that. It's 9 miles as the bird flies, and really steep, pretty much no trail most of the way. Deadfall everywhere, did a little cliff scaling. I mean, it was a fun day, I'll give you that, but I was dead beat tired that night. Hope you guys enjoyed this weekend's video. Sorry we couldn't get anything down. We did get a grouse down, couldn't get the camera out in time. Story on that, I pulled up 5 yards, it was sitting away from me in these trees. I used my top pin, didn't even think that it would shoot over it, but now that I think about it, of course it would. It's dead on at 20, pretty much dead on at 10. It's going to shoot a little high at 5. So I skimmed both of his wings. He was sitting at an angle. Couldn't fly too well, but he did get up in a tree. So then Tarren shoots it. I don't know how this thing lived. It was a perfect pass through, kind of more towards like the guts. And his arrow sticks up in a tree. So that thing lives, hops like 3 trees away and sits in that thing. It's probably like 20 feet up. Tarren's trying to throw stuff at it, get to fall down so he can get another shot. I'm throwing stuff up at his arrow, trying to get his arrow out. Then we see this big Peter pole, lodgepole pine. It's about 18, 20 feet long, stuck in the ground. We pull it out, and we knock his arrow out first. He puts that arrow back on his bow, gets ready to draw. I knock that grouse out of the tree. It falls about 5 yards, and it could not fly after that second shot. It kind of just soared and then landed on the ground, walked about 30 yards, and stuck him again at about 10 yards, Tarren did. Have not eaten it yet, probably going to eat some of that tonight. It's going to be real good. You cannot beat my mountain grouse. It is the best delicacy in the world. Mountain chickens, I like to call them. But yeah, that was pretty much all the main success we got. You did see in the video, Tarren found a nice little elk shed. So I consider it a good weekend, because as a bow hunter, you can't go into every hunt thinking you're going to kill something. If you do that, you're not going to be bow hunting after a couple of years, because you're just going to get tired of it, tired of getting let down. So I'm actually put up by this hunt, because we saw some elk, found an elk shed, got a grouse. It was a great weekend. So hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for next weekend. Should have a couple reviews on this large amount of stuff I have behind me coming out. And yeah, subscribe.